It was a crisp, chilly afternoon in a quiet Midwestern town. Life moved along as usual. Kids pedaled their bikes down the sidewalks, workers clocked out from their shifts, and families planned their evening meals. Nothing hinted that something extraordinary was about to unfold. A sleek black SUV eased to a stop outside the local Kentucky Fried Chicken. From it stepped Donald Trump, followed closely by Melania. Passers-by blinked, unsure if their eyes were deceiving them. What could bring the former president and first lady to a modest KFC in the middle of nowhere? Yet there they were. Donald adjusting his tie with his trademark confidence, Melania offering her graceful, familiar smile. Inside, the restaurant carried the warm scent of fried chicken and biscuits. Teenagers laughed over shared fries, a young mother tried to calm her fussy toddler, and an elderly couple quietly enjoyed their meal. Then the door swung open, the Trumps entered, and a sudden hush blanketed the room. Conversations died mid-sentence. Forks hovered in mid-air. Every gaze turned toward the door. Donald raised a hand in a casual greeting as if to say, "Carry on." Behind the counter stood Luke, a nervous 17-year-old cashier barely 3 weeks into his first job. His family had been struggling financially, and he had taken the position to help his mother, who worked double shifts at a nursing home. Seeing Donald Trump and Melania at his register made his palms sweat. Welcome to KFC, sir," Luke stammered, nearly dropping his headset. Melania leaned forward with a gentle smile. "2 meals, please, and extra biscuits." It wasn't just a food order. Something deeper hung in the air. Everyone sensed it. As Luke fumbled with the register, Trump stepped closer and said calmly, "Don't worry, son. You're doing a great job." The simple words struck Luke harder than he expected. Weeks had passed since anyone had told him that. Not his teachers, not even his exhausted mother. His shoulders straightened as a sudden steadiness returned to his hands. Behind them, whispers spread. Some patrons discreetly raised their phones to snap photos. Others simply watched, torn between awe and skepticism. When Trump pulled out cash instead of a credit card, Luke blinked again. "Cash?" he asked. Trump chuckled. "Yes, son. Sometimes it's good to keep things simple." As Luke handed over the change, Melania added softly, "You remind me of my son at your age. You have kind eyes." Luke swallowed hard. In that instant, the counter felt less like a fast food station and more like a place of unexpected connection. Across the room, an elderly couple, Martha and Harold, sat in a corner booth. Married 52 years, they had come for a simple meal despite Harold's declining health. When Trump passed by, Harold cleared his throat. "Mr. President," he said, his voice trembling. Trump stopped immediately. "Yes, sir?" Harold extended a frail hand. "I served in Korea. Never thought I'd shake a president's hand in a place like this." Trump clasped his hand firmly. "And I never forget men like you. You're the reason we're free." Martha's eyes welled with tears. For years she had prayed for her husband to feel recognized for his sacrifices. Here, over buckets of chicken and warm biscuits, that prayer was answered. Melania leaned close and said gently, "You are both treasures to this country. Enjoy your meal." Martha whispered to Harold after they left. "Maybe this is a sign. Maybe everything we went through really mattered." Harold, who rarely showed emotion, wiped at his eyes. Nearby, Claire, a 28-year-old single mother, struggled to keep her restless toddler, Ethan, from throwing biscuit crumbs to the floor. Exhaustion lined her face. Trump noticed. "Looks like you've got your hands full," he said warmly. Claire managed a tired smile. "He's a handful, sir. I'm just trying to do my best." Trump crouched to eye level with the boy. "Hey, champ, you like chicken?" Ethan giggled, smearing mashed potatoes on his cheek. Melania reached for a napkin, dabbing his face with a motherly touch. "He reminds me of Baron when he was small," she said softly. Claire blinked in surprise. You know what it's like?" Melania smiled kindly. Every mother knows." Claire's throat tightened. For years she hadn't felt truly seen, not by her ex, her family, or even her employer. Yet here, two of the most powerful people in the world acknowledged her quiet struggle. "Thank you," she whispered. Trump added, "Never give up. Kids grow up fast. He'll remember you fought for him." For the first time in months, Claire felt lighter. In another corner, a group of teenagers huddled over their phones, snickering. One of them, Jake, rolled his eyes. Probably some PR stunt, he muttered. Bet they're filming something. As Trump passed their table, he stopped unexpectedly. What's your name, son? Jake hesitated. Jake? Trump nodded. Jake, I was your age once. I doubted everything, too. But here's the truth. You don't have to believe in me. Believe in yourself. That's where it starts. Jake froze. No one had ever spoken to him so directly, especially not with encouragement. Melania added softly, the world is noisy and full of opinions, but your future isn't decided by them. It's decided by you. Jake lowered his phone. He didn't admit it to his friends, but the words landed. For the first time, he wondered if there was more to life than cynicism. Behind the counter, Rosa, the hardworking store manager, watched the entire scene unfold. A mother of 3, she had been juggling staff shortages, broken equipment, and delayed deliveries all day. Now the president was in her dining room. Approaching cautiously, she said, Mr. Trump, Mrs. Trump, I hope everything's okay with your meal. Trump smiled. The food's great, Rosa, but I can tell you carry a lot on your shoulders. Rosa froze. How could he see that? Melania placed a reassuring hand on her arm. Leadership is heavy, but never forget, you're shaping lives, not just running a store. Tears stung Rosa's eyes. She had always viewed her job as survival, not leadership. Yet here were 2 strangers reminding her that even ordinary work could be extraordinary when done with heart. She stood a little taller. As the Trumps enjoyed their meal, the door opened again. A young delivery driver named Kevin stepped inside, his faded cap pulled low. He looked weary, weighed down by college debt, long hours, and a stack of unpaid bills. Seeing the former president startled him. I didn't know, he began, trailing off in disbelief. Trump motioned for the young man to join them. Grab a piece of chicken, son. You look like you haven't eaten, he said warmly. Kevin hesitated, then slowly took a seat. Between cautious bites, he admitted, I'm trying to study engineering, but I can't keep up with tuition and work. Melania listened carefully, her eyes kind. Dreams can be heavy, she said softly, but they're worth carrying. Don't stop, Trump nodded in agreement. Every builder, every success story started where you are, tired, broke, and doubted. But they didn't quit. Neither should you. Something shifted inside Kevin. For the first time in a long while, he didn't feel like just a struggling delivery driver. He felt like someone with real potential, and tonight, he was reminded of it. At the back of the restaurant, Maria, a quiet cleaner, mopped the floor. Most customers barely noticed her, but Melania did. She walked over and said gently, You work hard. Do people thank you? Maria smiled shyly. Not often, but it's okay. I do it for my kids. Trump stepped closer. Maria, there's nothing small about hard work. You're holding this place together. Maria's eyes filled with tears. For years, she'd felt ashamed of her low-paying job. Now, for the first time, she felt proud. The mop in her hands no longer felt so heavy. Across the room, a man in a worn jacket decorated with military patches sat alone. His name was Tom, a veteran of Iraq. He avoided eye contact, preferring solitude. Trump approached quietly. Mind if I sit? Tom shifted uneasily. I don't need speeches. Then I'll just listen, Trump replied. For the first time in months, Tom opened up. He spoke of restless nights, of feeling forgotten, of the uphill battle to find work. Melania placed her hand over his. You are not forgotten. Not tonight. Tom's lips trembled. Nobody listens anymore. Trump met his eyes. We're listening. For Tom, that simple assurance eased a burden he'd been carrying for years. Just outside, a homeless man peered through the window, hesitant to enter. Rosa, the manager, started to wave him off, but Melania intervened. Let him in, she said firmly. The man stepped inside, embarrassed. I don't have money, Trump gestured toward the counter. Then tonight it's on us. They bought him a full meal. As he ate slowly, tears streaked his cheeks. Between bites, he whispered, Nobody's treated me like a human in years. The restaurant fell silent. Everyone watched as a powerful couple treated a forgotten man with simple dignity. The lesson was unmistakable. True power isn't status, it's compassion. In the play area, an 8-year-old girl named Lily colored quietly with crayons. She looked up at Melania, wide-eyed. "You're pretty," she said shyly. Melania knelt beside her. "And you are beautiful, inside and out." Lily's mother leaned in, voice low. "She's been bullied at school. Says she's not good enough." Melania hugged Lily gently. "Never believe that. You are special," Trump added with a grin. "And strong, too. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." Lily's face lit up with a radiant smile. For her, this wasn't just a night at KFC. It was the moment she started to believe in herself again. Nearby, a college student named Ben approached nervously with a small camera. I run a student blog. Could I ask why you came here?" Trump leaned back, smiling. "Because sometimes the best place to understand America isn't in Washington. It's in places like this." Melania added, "Ordinary people have extraordinary stories." Ben hit record, realizing this night would change his perspective. He wasn't just documenting a visit, he was capturing pure humanity. When he later shared the story, it would spread across the internet, not for politics, but for the kindness witnessed in a humble KFC. At a booth near the corner sat Pastor Williams, a local preacher. He had planned to eat quietly, but the evening's events stirred him deeply. When Trump walked by, the pastor stood. "Sir, may I pray for you?" The restaurant hushed as the pastor prayed aloud for wisdom, compassion, and strength for the nation's leaders. Melania bowed her head. Trump did too. The moment transcended politics. People wiped tears from their eyes. Faith had appeared in the simplest of places. Behind the counter, Luke's little brother Joey burst in, still in his school uniform. He'd come to walk Luke home. Trump noticed and smiled. "This your brother?" Luke nodded proudly. "Yeah, he's smarter than me." Joey blushed. "I want to be a doctor one day." Trump patted his shoulder. "Then be one. Don't let anyone tell you it's too hard." Melania leaned down. "Your brother is already making sacrifices for you. Remember that when you succeed." Joey's eyes sparkled. For the first time, his dream didn't feel impossible. At another table, a young woman named Hannah strummed a guitar softly, practicing between shifts at a nearby cafe. Trump overheard. "You sing?" he asked. Embarrassed, she nodded. "Just small gigs. Nothing big." "Let's hear it," he encouraged. Hannah nervously began a soft tune about hope and resilience. The restaurant grew still, listening. By the final note, people clapped and some even wiped away tears. Melania took her hand. "Never stop sharing your gift. The world needs it." For Hannah, that single encouragement felt bigger than any record deal. In another corner, a young boy sat before a small cupcake, a single candle flickering. His parents hadn't been able to afford a party. Melania noticed first. "Whose birthday is it?" The boy whispered. "Mine. I'm 10. Trump grinned. "Well, happy birthday. You just got the biggest party in town." He rallied the entire restaurant to sing. The boy's face glowed as dozens of strangers joined in chorus. His once-forgotten birthday became unforgettable. Not everything was perfect. Two men began arguing loudly about politics, the tension rising. Trump walked over calmly. "Gentlemen, look around," he said. "Tonight isn't about division. It's about people coming together over fried chicken." The men paused, then exchanged sheepish nods. The tension dissolved. Sometimes disagreements just need a reminder of shared humanity. Eventually, someone asked for a photo. Soon, families lined up, eager to capture the memory. But Trump surprised them. "No selfies with us," he said. "Take pictures together. With your neighbors, your families, the people beside you." Melania added, "Because tonight isn't about us. It's about all of you." People laughed, hugged, and snapped photos with one another. For one evening, strangers weren't divided, they were family. As closing time approached, Rosa stepped forward. "Mr. Trump, Mrs. Trump will be closing soon." Trump nodded. "We've taken enough of your time." But before leaving, he paused in the center of the room. "Tonight reminded me that America isn't built in offices," he said. "It's built right here, by hardworking people, by families, by communities who lift each other up." Applause erupted. Before departing, Trump pulled Rosa aside and handed her a small envelope. "For your staff," he said. "They've shown what true service looks like tonight." Later, Rosa opened it to find enough money to give every worker a bonus. Inside was also a handwritten note. Every role matters. Every person matters. Keep leading with heart. The staff wept. Luke hugged his brother. Maria called her children with pride. Claire held Ethan a little tighter. And as the black SUV pulled away into the night, the town understood. This night wasn't about politics. It was about humanity. Everyone left with full stomachs, but even fuller hearts.